Next up, we have Misha, who does much bigger project builds, SaaS build outs, the whole lot. So I'll let him run you through.
I think it's really important to be in a room like this and bounce ideas off each other and get some gold nuggets from each other. So what I'm talking about, or what I will be talking about, is our process and how we dissect big builds and how we kind of come up and bridge the knowledge gap between people that have no idea about AI or people that want to implement AI or build something with it. So similar enough building off what Dan does, we kind of do bigger builds. We work with influencers. We work with bigger companies as well, compliance companies and all that stuff. So kind of dissecting how that works from ideation to research to planning to actually getting something that's valuable for people as well. So I have a small agenda. We're going to go over like 5 main things. So how our process works, market analysis, how we build the systems from start to finish, and how our development plan works. And then also, I think for a lot of people here are interested in how pricing works and how people price it up. Similar to Dan, we do employ a vibe pricing model. But again, it's all kind of dependent on how big your problem you're solving or how big the potential is for a SaaS that you're building or whatever the case may be. So before we go over this, our process, how we extract value from our research, how we do analysis on the market, what's currently available in terms of what we want to build, so what competitors are doing, how we actually plan out and build the system from start to finish based on research, development plans, so like that's the timeline, and then that all leads into the magic, which is, well, the pricing on the build. So a little bit about me before I begin, and credits, whatever. So this is our company. We're the only accredited and award-winning AI development company in Ireland right now. And that comes from our mission statement, where we try and build genuinely empower businesses to unlock their full potential through cutting-edge AI agents and systems. We do this by driving innovation, enhancing operational efficiencies, all by leveraging AI. Do this with deep collaboration with everyone that we work with through ethical tech practices to ensure that we're somewhat compliant and ensure that the direct businesses and value that AI can bring is accessible to everybody. So that's kind of like lead into the main one, which is our company aims to alleviate pain points with customized AI agent systems that address your direct business needs. A little bit about me and myself and what my experience is. So personally, I've worked 6.5 years in corporate AI and software consulting. I work with SAP for a long time doing biz ops and consulting for them. We're the only accredited development company in Ireland right now as well. Myself personally and my CTO, we're both on the computer science board in our university, so we give lectures in our university on AI and to masters and PhD research students. Where we have over 12 developers now holding multiple degrees in computer science, including PhD and masters in AI as well. So I personally just finished off my masters in AI about a couple of weeks back. We work with 2+ governments. We work with the Ireland government. We did like a couple of builds for them. We worked with the Dubai government doing organizational training for the Abu Dhabi Police Department on AI and corporate development as well. We delivered multiple business transformations, saving up business of 15K per month. There's multiple case studies on my YouTube channel, on my social media profiles. And we also built custom SaaS products that are now generating over 15. Some are actually generating 40K per month right now. One company that we're working with recently as well just got valued at 2.2 million as well, so it's another case study release as well. We've traveled all over the world, so this is me in Silicon Valley meeting with some of the heads of big AI companies. We've been to Singapore, we've been all over the shop as well. So that's about it about me. This is some of the accreditations that we've recently got. So we're accredited by the All Business Foundation, which is like the #1 independent accreditation company in Ireland. So it's nice to receive that certificate as well, and that's another one as well. So now that you guys know a little bit about us and what we do, I want to kind of dive into the process and why over the last 2 years, honing in on actual experience from an educational backpoint, plus a corporate background, and how we can kind of put that together into the online AI space and how we can drive people through this process and what helps people close big deals as well. So there's a strict mechanism that we follow, a 2-part process, which is fairly rigorous for us and what has helped us kind of grow. So we have our AI strategy and consulting, and this is where this is where a lot of you guys that if you're even experienced or have a clientele or you're trying to get clients, this is the way that has helped us a lot. And that starts by doing deep AI audits. So you're trying to assess what your clients want, why they want it, and how does that play into what you can deliver. So we do an AI audit that's assessing business inefficiencies and all AI integration opportunities. So primarily, most of my builds are custom big builds. So we're talking like 20, 30, 40K plus kind of builds. And that allows us to, and that only comes from a process like this. So we have then optimization consulting. So we try to, based off what we audit, we try and identify efficiency improvements where they need to improve and how they can improve. We do machine learning and data science strategy. So we try and develop kind of AI insights and analytics for people to try and see, okay, this is the direct ROI you get from using this system. This feature will allow your client, your community, or whoever you're trying to sell the SaaS to will do. And we develop a custom AI roadmap. So this is, I'm going to give you like a demo of like how this roadmap plays out based on a client as well. And that's kind of having tailored plans for AI adoption, genuine implementation opportunities. Then guidance on how to leverage the latest AI advancements. So we teach everybody that we work with the best tools that are applicable to them, because if you go on Google right now, there's about 1,000 different tools that do 1,000 different things. So what do you know is best for your client? So a lot of this comes into actually providing consulting. I think the way the AI space is going in right now, there's so much tools that you can vibe code and all that stuff as well, fairly easily. It's not as bad as it was maybe 7, 8, even 9 years ago. But the real kind of value comes into actually nailing down the business pain point research. So why does the person come to you in the first place? What problem are you solving for that person? And that all of this ties into this. Like the main one is business pain point research, and everything ties to that. Then once we understand everything, we try and develop, we do an AI development implementation plan where we present actual product developments from start to finish, like a timeline, MVPs, and then how we can do that like product to market fit as well. That goes into AI agent development. So we develop an AI-powered systems or multi-agent systems in this case as well that kind of interact with each other, and how that can be applied to, again, the main business pain point that you're solving. Then we have optimization tools. So based on the emerging tools we identify, how does that fit into each person's workflow and feature that they want to sell? That then leads into feature development integration. And all of this is kind of like our base point. Okay, this is what we do, this is our process, and this is what's been working really well for us. So I want to give you guys an example, and hopefully you can get some real value from this. What we first try and do is, based on the audit and based on the discovery calls that we have, is do business value understanding. So how will this benefit XXX, your business, and you yourself as a business owner? So we have like something like, okay, fixing this invisible bottleneck that's costing you X, 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 and X. Okay, project, for example, from a past client, they were a project management tool. They're a media company. They were maybe having 25 different projects ongoing. How do they manage all of this from tools? Like you can use Notion, you can use Slack, you can use all these disconnected tools. But how do you bridge that together and make something useful for themselves? So in this particular case, they had maybe projects are scaling, but their operations weren't. So this particular example comes from an agency build, so an automation build as well. This is understanding. The more you grow, the more time you're losing. And here's what matters now. You're running 10 projects per person, but you're managing them with Slack, threads, Notion docs, emails, check-ins, and memories. So there's not a lot of operational efficiency happening here. There's no, again, quite literally, there's organized chaos, there's silent cap in your ability to scale. That's the hidden cost that you're already paying. So once you lay this out for your client, you're slowly bridging the gap between like, okay, AI is such a hype thing, how can this be used for me? They might be aware of some of these tools, but they don't know how to connect them or how it's working for their benefit. So you literally, if you're starting out, you have to show them to this, like, this is the hidden cost that you're already paying for. This is what you're missing out on. Yeah, I've missed updates to leads, so frustrated clients. Reporting takes 30 to 45 minutes after every meeting. There's no single source of truth for your team, so everybody's kind of talking to each other, but there's nowhere to actually go to a concrete place to get information from. So projects are tracked across multiple tools, causing confusion. Just checking in becomes like a full-time job. So laying out all of these problems for your client will allow you then to build a complex system from start to finish, because your main goal is to solve these problems for them. Okay, so that creates lack of visibility, so everything relies on one person. Can't grow, you're stuck, sales problems. And the real ROI, you're quite literally, like we do this for every client, so it's quite custom. The real ROI you're leaving on the table. So what does that mean? Time, more focus, headspace, client trust, team bandwidth, and scale potential. I don't know if you can see that at the very bottom there. So you're not just like losing time, but you're losing scale, trust, and headspace because your backend can't keep up with your growth. And this is just a practical example of how you dissect all of their problems And based off these tools, you'll identify the best tools that can solve these problems, connect them up, maybe build a custom dashboard for themselves to actually manage all these things. So again, an element of that. That's understanding the business value of why you're trying to build it in the first place. What we do is well, it's kind of go above and beyond. We try and go even further in that. We try and identify the actual problems per issue. So the real bottleneck, for example, is your operations in this particular client's case are XXX. So they're having these problems. Okay? Manual projects taking and burn time. So you and your team are manually tracking updates across different, like Notion, Monday, WhatsApp, Slack, email, without a single source of place for them to actually, access that information from. This leads to repeated follow-ups, wasted mental energy, and unnecessary meetings. That result is, in this case, you show them quite literally the result. So they have one place where they can go in, get all the information without having all these other touch points necessary. We have internal confusion equals client frustration. So without visibility and internal miscommunications create external issues. Clients don't know what's happening. The team's constantly checking in instead of progressing. And what this does, and this is kind of honing into like the Hermosi frameworks, is you're directly exposing all of their pain points. You're saying, okay, this is the business value we're trying to achieve, but this is the problems that you're having because you don't have those business values solved. And that's all leaning into why you can charge a bigger price as well. So clients don't know what's happening. We spend too much time updating clients manually. So if you use like a transcript or Fathom, whatever the case is, you can literally take it from quotes and put it in. So you're literally telling them the problems. And that comes from like the discovery phase that you should be having when you're dealing with these big projects as well. The result is XXX. Similar enough. So I'm just going to be like, let's skim past through this. So lack of control, more projects, more admin. The result is your team becomes a system that's risky. Result. So you try and like nail down exactly what it is. So breaking down each problem based off the discovery calls that you have, leaning into the business value, allows you then to create a custom solution that directly solves their pain points. So you expose all of them, then you have like the Painkiller, which is a system that you're going to provide to them. So the solution is your powered XXX agent, whatever it is. And replacing the friction, fragmentation, all that stuff as well across your teams. And it has like something like along this here. So an AI enhanced XX system that takes your current chaos, scattered updates, slow reporting, team silos, and client management, or misalignment, and turns it into a smooth, automated delivery machine. And then that's where you kind of do your research as well. It gives you XX places to track your updates and communications. It gives you one portal to see what's done, what's next, and what's needed, and without adding the additional headcount. It has the following capability as well. So like you can do a lot of research on this, and based on how advanced your knowledge is, this is just kind of honing back to some of the other skills that we have from corporate and education experience. But this allows you to outline exactly what they're doing. And even here, you're still not pitching anything technical. You're kind of just pitching the painkiller to their problems. So at any point as well, if you guys want to ask me or stop any questions, just feel free to do so. So they want this, the team and client get X if they do this, okay? It's status and tasks and deadlines X, no more searching for this, no? So if you were check-ins, more check-offs, automatically does this. So this is kind of exposing the painkiller solution here. So this is like a practical example of what we do and what allows us to scale a lot. So take on bigger projects for big builds. So you're providing a direct painkiller to the solutions that you exposed. And this already kind of reinforces their mental framework. Okay, this person has been really listening to me. They showed me everything that I'm missing out on. They showed me the business value, and now they're showing me the solution. And this is only like part one of this. So you're showing them exactly, okay, you're almost reframing how they're approaching the system. They're not approaching this from a technical standpoint anymore. They're approaching this from a problem solution standpoint. And that mental switch allows you to charge a lot more because, well, they're trying to solve their problems. So instead of one problem, you're solving 5. Instead of just having like a project misalignment, you're having all of these solutions in place. So we're able to eliminate this, that. Do you have any questions on solution or problems here? Yeah.
For your particular business, are you building micro SaaS applications, or are you building agents or automation?
Both. Both. So we have quite a big team now, and they're all coming from like research and PhD backgrounds. So again, as Dan mentioned, if your guys have a coding background, this is like building agents is like a walk in the park for them. So to take on the bigger projects, all again relates to the pain points that you're solving. So we have kind of 2 ICPs. One is like our agency aspect, and one is our mini SaaS aspect. This framework applies to both. It's just how you approach the client will be slightly different. Some guys that want to get a SaaS in place, they'll want to benefit monetarily. So you expose the monetary side of benefits or solution, you know? So to answer your question, we do automations and mini SaaSes, yeah.
Do you charge for consulting as well?
Yeah,
or do you split the cost? Yeah,
this is a paid roadmap. So discovery call is free. You just listen to their whines and complaints. And then you take that and you build a roadmap. So we would charge, to be fair, my mentor told me I should charge a bit more for this. We only charge about 400 quid for this. And there's easily 1,500 euros worth of value here. You know what I mean? Because they have this problem. You're just outlining everything for them like a 5-year-old can understand. So that alone, I think clarity in a problem is worth so much more to people. Because if they understand the problem, they know how to solve it. And in this case, you're the person that can solve it for them because you're the one that laid it out for them in the first place. So you took maybe a 30-minute discovery call, turned it into an hour and a half or an hour consultation, showed them everything, and at the end of it, they're throwing your money at you. Any other questions so far?
What kind of tools are you using to build the automations?
Primarily NAN, because it has a lot more like robust and you can do a lot of custom stuff in it. We use every client's different. So for example, we have the client I was showing Jack about. We used a quotation tool. They were a home improvement business in back arse of Ireland, like nowhere near know anything about technology. We found a couple of API tools that are suited to their quotation process, their PDF templates, all that stuff as well. And that allows us to put everything together. And again, we use a lot, for the SaaSes, we use a lot of custom code. For the automations and agency side, we use like NAN and third-party tools, all that connect everything there. Yeah.
How long does the process take? So you say you have your free discovery call, and then you outline the problem. How many calls is that? Like, what's the
2 call close?
2 calls?
They're closing after this call.
Okay, good.
Unless it's like 30 or 40K, they might have like a business partner, then they'll chapo. Then we usually take a deposit on the call, like 10% or 20% if it's like above 30K. Any other questions so far? Good? Cool. So now that you understood their business value, you outlaid the problems for them, you outlaid the solutions to them, you want to understand their market a little bit. Like, again, this is kind of part 2 of building on the problems, but here you can actually show them, your clients, okay, we've done research on your market, we've done research on the tools that are best suited for you, here's what we can do. And you kind of create a them versus us scenario. So this is where them is the other tools that are them right now, like them right now in the past, what other people in the space. So say, for example, in this client's case, he's a media company, we would come up with an example, say other media companies are doing this. This is where they're going wrong. And then we would outline that, like, okay, your competitor matrix and what they're doing, XXX, what they're doing wrong. But the funny thing is, they are them right now until they go with us. So it's also shifting that mindset, okay, I don't want to be like my competitors, even if they're them right now. And you kind of create this scenario where, okay, versus us scenario. And they're already thinking you're on their team, you're their partner, which you are. If you are genuinely trying to help them, you're their team now. So them is them in the past plus their competitors versus us, what we do. We built to think like your business XXX and intelligent, fully integrated, whatever it is. And that kind of how we can differentiate it based on the research and other competitors and your current operations right now, how we can do that. So this mental frame or this mental change is so important because you're creating kind of like a team environment for the person you're trying to work with. In most cases, you are, if you're like their grow partner, if they're their person that they go to, this is the way you would transform that mental mindset. And this is what the LTV is for a long, that allows you to have like a long LTV. So creating a them versus us scenario where, yeah, I'm on your team, I'm trying to help you. And then they already understand that based on the problems that you already showed for them and this custom solution that you're building for them. So this is kind of adding on to that layer as well. Do you have any questions on this? Or do you guys understand what's happening here? Cool. Now, the bread and butter is this. What is the system overview? So now that we outlined why we're trying to achieve it, the problems that we have, how we're going to solve it, what the market is doing, and how we can differentiate, how does that lead into? So this is what the most kind of important part is. So here we have an MVP system, how the AI agent works, structured for XXX pain point solving. Okay. Step 1, what does it do? It takes project intake, the trigger of this agent in this case, what happens here, and the value that it gets from it. So you try and break that down for each of them. Sorry, I meant to do this. Yeah. I'm trying to go back here. Yeah. So what happens here? So you break down the system into plain English for your prospect to understand, or the person you're trying to work with understand. This is what happens in step one. And this is where you're bridging that knowledge gap between being a technical and problem solving. So this is what happens in step one. This is how it's triggered. This is what happens. This is the value that we get. You do this for all parts of the system overview. So you're laying out, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Lay it out, all of it, and this all leads into the original problems that we discovered in the first place. And throughout the call, they might say something like, or I'll say something to them, am I nailing the problems here? And they're like, 95% they'll say yes, yeah, or we want to add something else, you know? And this is how you're bridging that knowledge gap slightly. So you have it in English, this is how the AI agent works in a nutshell. Then you go a step further, was what I like to do, is actually have an overview of the solution in detail. So we have their AI-powered agents doing XXX, or a SaaS has this feature, XXX. What it does, what the agent does, seamless integration, how it's connected to your current business operations, plus how it can connect to your community or whatever you're trying to sell, a SaaS community. What's it trained on? So what information are we taking from you to make this AI system applicable to you? You know, so it's trained on whatever. What you train the AI system with. Who's it utilized? Who's actually going to be using the system? So if it's an automation agency or automation client, they'll be using in their internal operations, their clients, their operations team, maybe their admin team, maybe themselves. Or if it's a SaaS, like their clients or their community members or whoever is going to be utilizing it. And where it's generated and exported. So where does the final information go? Where is it stored? Who's the end kind of product here, okay? So where it's saved, whatever the case is. What's it based on? So what frameworks are we using to actually outline the system? So what's the process? You know, so this builds on the previous slide. Okay, this is like a little bit more detail. This is how it works. This is where it's integrated. This is what it's trained on. This is who's using it. This is where it's exported and generated, if it is the case. And this is what it's trained on. Do you guys have any questions on the actual build? And this is, again, building on the fact that you're outlining the AI system from a technical standpoint, but also while maintaining English language for your people. Because the people that you're working with, they don't understand AI. They don't understand machine learning or data science strategy most of the time. And this knowledge gap kind of builds that confidence trust. They're saying, okay, he knows my problems, he's studied my market, he gave me the best tools to use, he's outlining it now in English from step-by-step approach, what each part of the system is solving, and now he's showing me where it's actually laid out. At this point, they're already trying to throw their money, like, you know? And then to go a step further, what I like to do is actually build out a stack per part. So, part 1, this is based, again, on the system overview. This is what we do, project intake. This is the tools that we're going to use, and that's the outcome. So expanding it again. Each part is broken down by tool, by outcome. And again, this all leads into the fact that you are solving their problems. Because again, if you're, a big misconception is that people think that AI solves all the problems. We're business owners, we know that that's not the case. AI is not some magic tool that solves everything. You need to understand directly the problem that you're solving, and literally lay it out for them in broken bar pieces how this works and what tools you're going to use and what's the outcome here. So we might, again, at this point they're a little bit confused already because there's already a lot of information here, but this kind of reinforces their mindset that this guy knows what he's talking about, okay? Any questions on the system overview? Do you guys understand how this process works? Okay. Then, at this point they're more than likely convinced, but if they're not, you try and show them some examples, so some of your previous builds. So this is what we have for our own operations team. We built out this fancy dashboard for our Notion. This works well for us. You show them some past examples and some, like this particular client, it's, right now they paid us 18,500 euros just for the MVP, and it's going to be extended for another 15, I think, to build out the full app. So you're looking at 30 to 33K, whatever it is, 33.5. And this is what we show. You show people that are trying to buy for you, and this is the problem that you'd might face if you're doing custom builds, is that a lot of your clients might be coming from different industries. So, but what you can do is show them parts of different systems, and then say to them, okay, we're going to take part of this dashboard, we're going to take part of this avatar, we're going to take part of our dashboard, whatever the case is, and we're going to build something for yourself. This is an example that I was mentioning earlier on with the home improvement business. Again, Ireland, small market, no idea about technology, about AI, like, let alone AI, like, you know. We built him a system that takes information from his client's client information, takes all of his workflows, like pictures, puts it in a nice form and sends it out within seconds. This process took him 40 minutes per quote. Now it takes him 30 seconds to do with a click of a button. Like. And he doesn't even touch it actually most of the time. It's just, he might review it if he wants to, but he doesn't. Like. Similar enough, we did that for a Canadian company as well. Those two that I showed you. So this is a build, MVP build, like a product. These are two agency sides. This is another one similar for a Canadian company. This was Charlie Barber's software. If you guys follow him on YouTube, we built his Apex scraper. Now, to be fair, he didn't promote it as much as he should, so we're not doing rev shares for a while now. But this we built for him, like, and this is live right now. Again, that's Charlie Barber's software. This is another one that we built as well. It's frostmail.com. We built that entire dashboard, and this company now, I think they're doing 45K per month. You know, I think this one's trying to get acquired now from, I think, 1 point something mil. I can't exactly, but so these are two SaaS products. Again, SaaS. This is agency automation side of things. But you can take apart each of these different builds and build something custom for your clients. But again, what this part of the presentation roadmap does is reinforces the person. Okay, this guy has done work already. He knows what he's doing. So you're building, not that you're only first researching everything about their business, you're outlining everything about their business, like building a solution, and then you're also showing them past examples of what you've done. So at this point, it's barbecue chicken, like, you know. Then what I like to go, any questions so far actually before I go into the development plan side of things? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the right time, but just what are your typical objections? So this all sounds really good, but what are your sort of top 3 objections and how you overcome those?
Top 3 objections, to be fair, the only ones we really get is, I need to, like the typical one, I need to think about talking to my business partner, like, you know. Because again, some of these builds are quite big, like you're talking, like the average UK salary for a build, like, you know. So we understand that. So typical, our process is 2 to 3 call close. If it's a case where they need to talk to their partner, we have them on the call saying, okay, we're going to speak to you tomorrow at the same time. And never leave the call without a meeting booked for the next one booked. Because then they already have pressure to go onto it. So if you can't, I can't do a 1 call close like that, but I try my best. Like sometimes they do, but if it's a case where they also want to go, we usually have a 25 to 50% deposit on the call. But if they want to talk to their partner, we'll say, we'll do 5% deposit. And at that, then they have like a monetary involvement as well. Cause even 5% of 30 grand as well, like 600 quid, whatever. Well, I'm not gonna math myself, but whatever that is. And they have a financial, okay, well, we have a wait list. We'll take you on. If you're serious, put a deposit down 5% and book a call for tomorrow. And we do not leave that call until that call is booked. So then they have like a monetary involvement plus a meeting coming up, so they're a little bit more enhanced move to go. But the main one is just like standard one pricing, and you got to talk to my cousin's sister, like, and so that's the standard one, I guess. Any other questions?
Are you building from scratch, or are you
Yeah,
using the likes of Lovable, Base 44 to help build out that initial base?
Most of it is from scratch.
Okay.
We use like a couple of tools like Lovable. For Charlie's one in particular, he thought it was a great idea to build Lovable and then just mess up the entire code. So every time there was like a fix we needed to do, there was like a problem that he would put it in Lovable prompt, and that would mess up like the super base and backend code. Okay. So we have to go and fix it. I'm actually going to release a case study on that build next week on my YouTube channel, kind of go over some of the problems we faced. But yeah, Lovable for like front end stuff. Cursor is quite good.
Okay.
Cursor is really good, but you need to understand what's actually happening in the code too. There's a certain element, vibe coding will get you to a certain so far, but if you don't have an actual expert understanding what's happening with the code, it's just.
How long does it typically take to build out one of these SaaS platforms?
SaaS
taking multiple devs in multiple months? Or what is that?
Typically 8 weeks,
Okay.
8 to 10 weeks for an MVP, like to be fully ready. No, to be ready for the people to onboard.
Is that one dev, or would you have a team of?
I would have
people?
1 to 2. Yeah. So the thing is, like the automation side of it, like agency side, is so much simpler.
Of course, yeah,
So
yeah,
much
yeah,
simpler,
yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to nail down with these two lads now. So where do I get leads for these automation builds? Because as good as the big projects are, it's nice to get like a 10K wire. That's lovely, like, and it's only a third of it. But It is a process to get it done because you have to multiple touch points, multiple testing, multiple MVP stages, and that's it's a lot more harder to fulfill on. So you need to have really good service delivery to make this part of the process work.
Are you trying to transition more to the agency model now then?
50. We're trying to do 50-50. Like so, for some of the guys that I just showed you, like for the solar panel guys,
Yeah.
we're launching cold email campaigns to target US based clients, but for this particular service. But that's where like the productized offers and the bundle packages would be a huge one. Like if you can nail this service on and add lead gen on top of that, you could charge probably like a 5 to 7K setup fee. Like even this build, we charged 5K just to build it out, and on the main side of things. This particular one was absolutely beautiful. Like this guy's coming for his third build, and that's LTV. He's already paid us $7,000 for two of these.
Yeah.
He's come back for another third one for another $3,500.
Nice.
And then he's also paying us maintenance on top of that. But trying to find clients like this, because this particular person, we interacted with an existing software that works, that he already uses, and that our system only works with that software, and that software only has so many users that we can target. So it's just trying to nail it down again. So we're actively trying to push the agency side of it because it is a lot easier to fulfill. You just build it once and you forget about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, connection side of things, but again, the SaaS thing allowed us to do quite well. So now we're working with Thomas Garner, if you guys know him. So we're helping him build Dermastock.
Sick.
So we built out his entire AI Dermis platform, and now we're rolling it out to he's 40 clinics right now. They got valued at 2.2 million recently.
That's who you're talking about when you said the values.
Yeah, that was him. So I'm already the case study on that as well next week. So he's building. We built that out for him. And again, they're good because they're 20, 30K builds, to 10K wires. It's great. But that's the problem. That it's not. It's hard to scale. You have to find the right people for these clients and stuff like that. So, and the service delivery needs to be top notch to get it working. So yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, how are you getting the big project clients?
What's your lead gen?
Lead
Good question. So what's been working for me is groups like this, networking.
Okay.
Networking is I spend, for context, while I was working my consulting job, like my 9 to 5, every penny I got in, I spent into like networking groups. I traveled to, again, Silicon Valley, met people there, Singapore. I'm in like 4 or 5 of these info groups as well. And it's kind of who you know type of thing. And referrals have been big for us. Like that's actually been the only thing for us really. Doing workshops, we give a lot of workshops to these different groups. Because we have we have a partner program and a referral program. So our referral program is quite good in the sense that we will give 10% for any project build. So if they introduce us for a client for 20 grand, we'll give them 2 grand, just like that, plus 15% of the full lifetime value of maintenance. So say if we charge them 1.5k maintenance or 2k maintenance, we'll throw 15% your way just for making the intro. And that's taxed over time. And our partnership program is what's been really good for us is, say whoever here has access to 5 to 10 clients in a particular industry, we'll say. But in Tom's case, it was like aesthetics. Say you're working with dental clinics or you're working with hotel people, whatever, and you have access to 5 to 10 clients in that niche, and you know there's a problem that they might solve. What we do is we'll come in and help you build an AI offer for them as an upsell. So we will take no money from that, and then every client that we bring in, we partner up on the 50% you take for making the intro and having the clients kind of be like a mini sales guy, and we'll do the builds.
Okay.
That's been really good for us because it's a win-win situation. People that are not technical want to get into the AI space, have proven clients, but don't have the technical expertise or offer to back it up. We would come in, help you build your offer, and it's been pretty good for us. So that's partnerships, referrals, and paid networking groups. Any other questions? Good? Cool. So what is the development plan here? So we obviously employ AI in the SDLC, so software development lifecycle, and we try and lay it out for them like this. This is our plan. We'll try and get it fast, easy, and high quality. Do through continuous analysis, iteration approvals, so if they want features added, and delivery. So that's kind of like the process. All going into this kind of pyramid type thing, not a pyramid scheme. Starts off with phase 1, which is a discovery and phase, which is what we do on like the discovery call type of thing. Solution design is what we kind of do the roadmap, wherever. Development and prototyping, that's what's going to happen after this call. So prompted again to pay. Testing and iterations, deployment and scaling. So that's how it works, and it's been quite well for us as well. And then depending on the project, we would actually lay it out in a step-by-step, week-by-week approach. So week 1, this happens. Loads. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Now I know my roadmap is backwards, but like, yeah, you understand. I forgot to change it, but yeah. So laying out like, yeah. So we have maybe like 4 points. What happens in week 1, week 2? This is what we're going to do. Week 3, week 4, week 5. And then we have like scope for iteration. So even if it's 1 or 2 weeks, this is brilliant, because now that you've outlined their business value, show them the problems, become their painkiller solutions. Did market analysis, showed them the system from start to finish, showed them your phases approach, and now you're showing them in a week-by-week approach what happens. Like they know exactly what you're doing for them. You know when you're going to do it for them. You know this is this timestamp, and then you could send them like Loom videos to keep them updated, whatever you want, or weekly calls to get them updated. This is what we done in week 1. This is where we are right now, and you kind of cross-check it against this roadmap, and it's great. And all of this obviously leads into the main one, which is the financial plan. Or so to speak, how much you're going to throw on the call. Before we do that, we show our guarantee. Have a guarantee, it's game changer, and we have a killer one. And that idea is that we say that our systems provide real business impacts, because they do. It's a risk-free guarantee. How does that work? Is that even if we're past the roadmap, we will, and if the product doesn't work, we'll still fix it or work on it even past the week. So we'll work for free until it works. Essentially. We have performance-driven implementation, so that means we don't consider the systems complete or until it's fully integrated, functioning, and generating value before we speak, or before the project is complete. And if all that doesn't work, we have a strong clause for money-back assurance. So if after full implementation, optimization, your AI solution still fails to meet the agreed-upon goals based on what we outlined here, we'll refund your money full, questions asked. Now, this only happened once, thank God. and the client was just a dumbass, so it is what it is. I'm joking. He didn't give us the right materials to train the system, and then after a while it just got kind of messy, and then he only put down 600 quid, so we just refunded him 600 quid, and it was costing me more in team and mental bandwidth than that 600 euros, so that was about a year and a bit ago, so I was like, just keep it. So that's that, and then we go into so that outlines, so we take on the risks so you don't have to, and that's at this point I already know everything. You have a money back guarantee, which no AI company does at all, from what in Ireland at least. I'm not sure about other people, and this allows us to then go into our heavy pricing. So we have 20 to 50% deposit on the call to pay on the call, 50% once it's complete. We say we do free consulting throughout the project, but that's just kind of updates. It's valued at $4.50 an hour, vibe pricing. Software running costs, that's usually for paying for third-party tools. And then what's been good for us is partnership/maintenance. Now we outline, because we found a lot of objections that we had was actually tying into the ongoing maintenance. So people were like, okay, I'm paying you 20 grand and I still have to pay you 2 grand to maintain it. Like, why the fuck would I do that? So that's a problem that we had. So now we outline in our contract, the guarantee only applies or doesn't apply if you do not have maintenance, either with us or somebody else, because the system will need maintenance. AI just software, you just need it. So what we do is you can either pay us X per month, which is optional in brackets, or you can get full documentation, which is kind of just outlining how the system works. If you want to fix it, maintain yourself, you do that. But if the system fails due to lack of maintenance, that does not constitute your money back. So that works well for us, yeah.
How do you justify your deposit on the call? Being called out on it. Why are you charging?
Just again, I worked with a good few people. So if you guys know, do you guys know Lee Motley? Yeah. So I'm friends with him. We chat every now and again, and he's saying the reason for 2 things. If they're not, first of all, if they don't pay for this roadmap, they're not going to pay at all. So never do a second call unless they pay on the call. So how my process usually works, on discovery call, they will pay me for the roadmap. And if they don't pay for the roadmap, call two doesn't happen. Because that gives them a financial investment. Okay, they paid us for a roadmap, so they're already really hyper interested in what we're going to offer them. And then deposit comes into play. It's like, okay, again, I need to talk to whoever's dog, to get their approval. Yeah, no problem. Go talk to them. But we're not going to have another call unless I see some commitment from you.
With your roadmap pricing, is
that vibe, or is
That's
that
vibe as well,
you
yeah.
don't have a set?
Don't have a set one. Yeah. Just yeah, like again, my mentor tells me to charge like one to 2 grand for this, and that's actually the value that we're giving them and the research that we do. It's well worth that.
Yeah.
Even understanding the problem and the solution, and if they keep the problem as well, it's crazy. But again, right now, depending on the client, like if they're really big guys and they have money to spend, we would charge them medium price like 400 or 500. We might charge 600 if they're really big.
You don't get many people push back on that.
No. No, we get sometimes we did as low as 250, depending on the person. Again, depending on how complex it is for me to actually research, because I have to spend my time doing this.
Yeah.
It might take me like a week to get everything between all the other clients to get this done. So yeah, we get very little objections on the actual paid roadmap as well, because it's even worth their time to understand the problems that we're potentially going to solve for them.
Yeah.
So, and the deposit on the call depending on how big it is. So if it's a 6K project, we'll take 50%. Like if it's a 30K project, understandable 25 is fine, you know. But we had some guys just wire us 10 grand, 11 grand on the call as well for 50%. So it's completely dependent. And then we have the partnership as well. So this is typically proven for the partnership model that I showed you, and also if they're an influencer or some guy that has a community, we'll still charge them for the build, but for the maintenance side of things, we'll do it at cost on a rev share basis. Yeah. Now, I'm going to be very skeptical on how we do it again because it failed with Charlie. So, but yeah, that's the process. So, that's me. If you want to connect me on LinkedIn, that's my phone number. If you guys want to have any questions, or
You're doing questions now?
Yeah, questions now. So, let everybody take the. Oh, phone's popping off. Yeah, so that's me. You guys have any questions or?
Why do all of the SaaS products look the same?
Lovable. Lovable. Just depends, because a lot of them, they just want similar things, like in SaaS builds most of the time. It's just kind of reiterating that part.
Do you do smaller SaaS builds, like obviously I imagine the stuff with Charlie seems like it was like 6 big features and.
That was a Chrome extension, like.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was a Chrome. That was a small build, like.
Oh.
Thomas's is huge, like.
Yeah, no, because his a whole app with rewards and.
Yeah, Thomas's is huge. Charlie's is mini SaaS.
Okay.
His was a mini SaaS, and again, that was our first kind of real mini SaaS that we launched with him, and the problem was that he didn't have nobody to send issues our way, because the agreement was that he would maintain, like, tell us the issues, and then he'd run off and do some other things, and we're still friends, like, we still chat every now and again. I'm actually going to release a case study, but it just didn't work out because he was busy with other things, and if someone's going to commit to a SaaS build, we need, if not them, then somebody on their team to actually manage complaints and see the issues that come up from a SaaS, because SaaS products, they need even more so maintenance than other ones.
Yeah.
Like automation in agencies, you can just check in every now and again, see nothing's broken in the workflow, but with SaaS, you have to maintain Stripe integration, paywalls, Superbase, whatever you're using to maintain and make sure the data is flowing to the right place. So SaaS is, and you need someone to maintain that. Yep.
Do you have SaaSes that you resell, or are they all custom from scratch?
Call custom from scratch at the moment. Like, it's a good.
Is there a reason you've not created one and resell it?
Purely because I like working on different projects, but from a scalable aspect, that's what I'm thinking of doing next. But again, the problem is that we have a lot of projects ongoing. We have like 8 ongoing big projects ongoing, and it's just a SaaS. Having your own SaaS requires your own team to maintain, and my team is busy doing builds. So it just comes from a scalable standpoint. What's your main focus? Do you want to have we take equity stake in some of the SaaS products we build. So we're discussing some Thomas right now, an equity stake. The one that I just showed you that's doing 40K per month, we have 8% equity stake. And so from our point of view, it's if we have like percentages from a lot of different SaaS that are generating revenue and they can get acquired, it's similar enough to having one SaaS as well.
So you don't need it.
Yeah, that's kind of the side of it. Like. And plus, I'm just trying to prioritize growing the business by getting more projects in. So right now, any other questions? All good.
Thank you.
Sounds good.